Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Happy Catty Crypto here. So let's dive into an update, and we've got a few things going on. We've got Exodus, we've got Vegas's Agora text, and we've got Alex's Agora text. There you go. 1, 2, 3. So Exodus have begun to launch their sales of their lands and other things like that. The links will be left to everything in the description. You can head over to Twitter and take a look at the tweet that we put out. It's a nice thread link. It's got everything in it that you would need to know. And it is all supported by LUNC, as you can see here. We are the first ones in the list. And I like this because the team have worked so hard to ensure that LUNC is a use case in their metaverse, and they've not put us to the back of the queue. They've not said to me, you know, Jay, we just can't do this, it's too much money. They've never once said that to me. In fact, you know, I know that it costs them money to be able to get LUNC put in the game, get everything written out for it, and their team had to learn a lot in that time as well to get that done. So they put a lot of effort into doing this for the community. Now, metaverses are it's a bit of a weird term, but it's kind of like the next step of everything. The internet is like internet gaming, crypto, and social, you know, pleasures all mixed into one big bundle, being a metaverse. So it's out there, that's all there, and now let's get on to the main point of this video. And the main point is, as you can see from the title, is really trying to get the pros and the cons out there. But before we go on to what Vegas is put up, I want to go over to Alex's fund the devs with 4 million off-chain assets. And I want to look at this as a trust fund. I want you guys to look at this as if it's a trust fund, okay? And this trust fund is there so it can, you know, help vet proposals, research, and help implement them. And the people that are the signers are pretty much the, you know, guardians of this trust. They will be sending the funds to wherever they believe they need to go, in a sense, streamlining things. And the issue being, I think at the moment, is they have to make every single little individual kind of decision with the community, and it's taking forever. I think this is what they're getting at, is that it's just taking forever to get anything done. You've got so many issues with the governance layer in the future with the junk that goes into it. You've got hacks, which can be a problem. You've got spam proposals being a problem with hacks thrown into the mix. And I think it's more like a group of officials, and essentially the trust fund, like I said, it's going to be there to help vet and help push everything along and ensure that people are doing what they need to be doing. And this is quite common in any kind of business situation, management position. You pay a manager to manage people, and they tell people what to do. They allocate them correct work, and they ensure that they're doing the correct things. And the reason why I'm doing this video like this is because of the sheer fact that there's pros and cons to everything. Like there will always be pros and cons to absolutely everything. There will never ever be a proposal where you agree with everything, or, you know, you won't just agree with everybody that you speak to. It's just not that simple. It's really not. So I honestly believe that this could be good and it could be bad. And I think the way that it could be bad is, in a sense, that we get bad actors in place. That bad actors somehow do all of these bad things, and all of the things that could go wrong would go wrong, kind of thing. But then if you look at it from a standpoint of, okay, we can trust all of these people to do what they're saying they're going to do, how is this actually going to affect? Well, it's going to streamline things. It's going to make people accountable, and accountable is the exact reason why they would like their legal fees to be covered in the situation where they might have to go to a court case over something, because when they start accepting this money, in a sense, they become responsible, and then they can actually be held accountable for work they're not doing. So if they're not keeping to a time schedule, and like it explains in the proposal, if they're not keeping to that time schedule, or a signer's not doing what it should be doing, they can vote that person out, as long as they notify the community and everything like that. I think the proposal could have been written better. And I hope it gets rewritten a little bit to help understand that this is an actual full, total control over the blockchain. I think it's more of a trust fund. But like I said, there's pros and cons to everything, and this is giving up some sense of our decentralization, but nowhere near all of it or even a huge amount of it. I think what we're doing is giving up a very small amount of our decentralization for the productivity of getting more streamlined, allowing the correct work to go to the correct people to do the correct jobs to get the correct outcomes, and then in turn speeding everything up. And I don't agree with all the people that are on the signers, but it's not me saying to you that I disagree with what's written in here, because I don't. I solely believe we actually need a system like this, and I've always believed this, that there's too many kind of cooks in the kitchen, or there's what's a good term for it? You know, there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians, I think is the term that most people use. So this proposal in itself has many pros and many cons, and it's always going to be like that. And I've spoken with a few people about this and had back and forths, and you know, it's caused all kinds of discussions with people I never thought I'd have these kind of discussions with. But at the same time, we need to weigh things out for what they are, not for who's behind them, if that makes sense. So in an ideal world, I honestly believe that the developers having cash at hand is a great thing. I honestly do. Maybe this proposal could be written to benefit not only the signers, but the signers also agreed to benefit, you know, a portion to the Oracle rewards pool or to the community pool. So then everybody's happy. You know, there's always this middle ground, isn't there, where we can all kind of meet in the middle and go, well, yeah, you know, yeah, okay, we could do that. You know, it's at the end of all of this, we're all striving towards the same thing. And I don't want to be one of these people that's blocking forward movement because, you know, someone who's on the signers is done things in the past that maybe they shouldn't have and stuff like that. But at the same time, you can't always judge a book by your cover. You get this whole kind of, you get the wrong perspective of things, I think. So I honestly believe that Alex's proposal is wholeheartedly for the community. I just believe it should have been written a little bit better and maybe a little bit more thoughtful towards the community and things like that. But those are my opinions, and that's what I think. Now, Vegas has put a proposal up. Well, I need to stop saying this. He's put an Agora text up. These do normally lead to proposals if they're put in the governance proposals section. Now, I probably should have put one up. I know a lot of you were saying to me, you know, get your one up there, Jay, let people know what they're seeing. But I just didn't want to, you know, because A, I don't want anything to do with the money. B, I don't want anything to do with the money. And C, I don't want anything to do with the money. So I just gave my opinion in a Medium article and left it as that. And I knew Vegas would always come out with more or less this being a counter proposal. And there are pros and there are cons to this. At the same time, because of how Duquan has said the funds belong to the community, it then raises a big flag, doesn't it, as to why this wasn't told to us in this proposal. But then if you go up and you actually read very, very, very carefully through it, it does state the Terra Classic community votes to reclaim possession of the Ethereum cross-chain multi-sig wallet. So we're the ones voting for this, okay? We. Okay, so in a sense, the wording is correct. So in a sense, it does raise flags that it wasn't outlined correctly. And I gave out my idea, and it's pretty much the same as Vegas's, more or less, but adding a dev pool, giving a specific pool to fund the devs and it to work on the same basis that the community pool works on. And we went through this in the video. We showed you our little chart system thing. I thought it was a great idea and probably one of the least friction routes, but at the same time, there's a lot of cons to that, meaning that, you know, we won't streamline movement. Like, people want things to happen quicker. This is probably one of the ways we're going to get it, is by following through with this. And I'm going to be honest here and say this, the community is split on this. There's a lot of people that support it. There's a lot of people that don't support it. And we really are going to need to find a middle ground. And I think that's the way to move forward here. And all of these kind of discussions and us doing videos talking about it, Twitter spaces with people, you know, debating over it, it's normal. You know, people used to debate things in school. You would debate things in university and college, and there's always been... I've been stood on a job debating with someone about where to put ladder beams into a job before for about 2 hours. You know, it's all down to how the structure works, how the wind tolerances are going to be in that area at that time, and you've got to have all these little discussions, and people are saying, you know, well, it's summer, we're not going to get winds like that, and it's normal to debate, it's normal to discuss. So I think this whole idea of people saying, you know, it's drama, it kind of can look like that from the outside, but I think it's more just people discussing and debating. And yeah, sometimes people can get a little bit heated, and that's why I tend to stay out of these Twitter spaces and not get dragged into them too much, because they do get kind of heated. But at the same time, everybody's got their ways of talking things out. I solely believe Alex and Vegas to both have whole hearts and are for the community. And the thing is, right, I really don't think someone like Zarada, someone like Lunkdale would allow one person to perform malicious acts. I just really don't. So I feel like the signers do have a good balance. Like, they really do have a good balance. And it's kind of one of those ones. If we don't walk the route, we would never know anyway. But once we've walked that route, I think we kind of need to know how we as a community can change a signer, for instance, how the community is not controlled. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to invite a few of them over for a podcast episode, and we're just going to discuss it all. I'm going to ask the questions that the community are asking, and I'm going to try and get the answers. It's no promises of who I'm going to get on to discuss about this, but I'm trying to get somebody on to discuss it, because we always need to remain neutral in this whole aspect of things. And like I said, meet in the middle at a middle ground where everybody's happy, everybody wins, and we can all walk away, move forward, and just keep on jumping these hurdles as they come towards us. So like I said, pros and cons to everything. You've got Exodus land sales beginning today. This is huge for Lunar Classic, hugely underrated. Metaverses are the next big step, and trust me when I say this, Exodus is of a league of its own. Guys, stay safe out there. None of this is financial advice. Beware of scammers, beware of doppelgangers, beware of anybody pretending to be me, and we'll catch you in the next one.